Hi there. This is Jean Roman with For Dragonflies and Me. Thanks so much for joining me at this week's podcast. As always, I'm super excited to be here sharing gardening, cooking, organizational tips and tricks, chatting about healthy lifestyles, and of course, having incredible conversations with wonderful entrepreneurs. Well, if you're a regular listener here, you all know I love to share the backstory of how I am acquainted with my podcast guests. And of course, today's not going to be any different. So, another thing, if you're a follower, you also know that I try to regularly attend networking events. And I try to do one, preferably two per month. And this helps me grow my network and meet interesting people, inspiring entrepreneurs, and who can potentially lead into a podcast guest. So, I know you've all heard me mention my participation as both an attendee and a panelist for the organization Access's Lead Hership seminars. And you all know I've met several incredible women there. Well, today's guest is another one of those incredibly inspiring female entrepreneurs. I was able to have a wonderful Zoom meeting with her and was so inspired by her determination and drive to help people as a result of a loss in her life. So now please help me welcome Nada Ali Musleh. I messed it up, didn't I?
Okay, no, you're good, Jean. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this opportunity, and I'm here to share about what we do, what I do, and what inspired me to continue to do what I do.
Yeah, well, and it's Nada Ali Musleh. I am so sorry, Nada. And you are a wellness and resilience coach and owner of AAC Coaching. So welcome and thank you for your understanding. I truly apologize for messing up the name. I'm a person that thinks names are so important. But,
Yeah.
I would love for you to share with my listeners a bit about yourself and your background.
So I'm a mom of two. I'm a wife. I'm a former educator. I work with elementary students. And after that, I became a mom. So it was so important to me to be there for my kids. So, so after, the fun and the time I got to spend with my kids, um, you know, life just happens and you want to do other things. So, um, my dad passed away 2 years ago,
I'm sorry.
and he was such a pioneer in our family. He was so um, gifted and being there for others. He was driven to just sacrifice so much just to you know be there to give,
Mhm.
and that's how I became a coach. I wanted to continue his legacy and to be there for others like he was there for us and for the community members.
Aw, well, that's incredible. And as we met at the seminar, and then as I started kind of following you on your social media platforms and whatnot, I love the statement that your tagline on your Instagram page, a safe space to create the reality you desire. Set intentions by planting the seeds of change. And, that is really deep. And when you really look into that statement, you really do have to look deep within yourself. And so I would love for you to share your feelings on that statement and how it came to be your tagline.
Um, so it's there's so much out there to think about, but for me, this represented what my dad stood for and what he embedded in us, and what I want to give back to clients that I work with and that come to to this safe space and to share their desires, what their outcomes or goals are. So setting the intention is to always reflect, go back and be there in the moment as you go through the day or life.
Mhm.
And when you are feeling triggered and you have a sense of setback, or you're going to self-sabotage, go back to that intention. What did you say that you wanted to do? And once you go back to that space, you take your deep breaths and you think about what you have overcome so far and what you're set to do, and then your day just instantly begins to flow.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and when you think about, a mantra, and having your daily mantras and saying them to yourself. I think when we talked, and I know I've said it in multiple other podcasts, but I look in the mirror every morning and tell myself, I am powerful. I am going to be successful in whatever I attempt to do, and I will accomplish what I set out to do successfully. And telling yourself those things and believing in yourself, that's
Yeah.
all part of it, right?
Right.
And I know you talked about having the proper tools to do all of that, and talking about it and creating new realities that we have in our life. But
Mhm.
during our conversation, we chatted about particular life experiences that led us both to where we are today. Mine, I have to say, was twofold.
Right.
I got a divorce, and then before that I was Mennonite for 15 years. And so becoming a Mennonite, trying to save the marriage, I learned to cook, I learned to can, I learned to garden, I wrote my cookbook, and that led me to where I am today. And then I got a divorce, I went back to school and whatnot.
Mhm.
But you have a different story, like so many people do. And I'd be really honored if you would share with my listeners, you know, that story and how that brought you to start ACC coaching.
Yeah, so absolutely. So when my dad passed away, I was in this like really dark space. The first time I've ever felt grief.
Oh,
And I had a supportive community, but at the end of the day, you're basically on your own.
mm-hmm,
And I needed to be there for my family, my kids. I needed to be an example of, hey, grief happens,
mm-hmm.
but we have to also pick up and go. We have to do our best that we can. And so one day I was just, 8 months into his death, I was just sitting around and I'm like, I need to continue my dad's legacy. Like, it's just like he came to me and said, get off your butt. I'm here with you. You have a gift. Share it with the world. And so I enrolled in this coaching program, and it was meant to be, I finished it in 6 months, which you're allowed a year. And I was so proud of myself because of all the other challenges we face, right? All the
Yeah.
obstacles we have. So became a coach, and then I knew that this was my calling. Like, this was what my dad was like telling me to do. Get up and just start hammering away because you got this special gift.
Aw.
To
Well,
help others.
I'm sure that if he were here today, and I'm sure he's watching over you, and he is so proud of the achievements and the accomplishments. And I think you said it was like about 8, 9 months, like you said,
Yeah.
after getting that message from your dad and moving forward with it. And it's
Yeah.
moving how you took a very sad loss in your life and decided to help others through theirs with that. And you have a very loving and kind spirit, Nada. And I feel that is why you really have a special gift to offer to your clients. And so, tell my clients a little bit about the grief coaching that you do, the trauma coaching, and and if you would share with my listeners what types of other coaching you do, because that's not all you do. You're a pretty talented lady, like your dad said.
Thank you. Well, I learn from others, right? Sometimes it takes a village.
Yes.
So with, my coaching, I also coach on anything, trauma related experience. So that, that what comes into that to play is losing a job, for example. I,
Mm-hmm.
and I coach on money. Some people have loss of money, relationships, a loss,
Mm-hmm.
a loved one, or a divorce, or whatever it may be. And I also do group coaching. A lot of women like to do group coaching because they like to um, share with other people the commonalities and similarities that they have. And they feel that sense of relief when they know that, hey, there's someone else out there like me. I'm not alone.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
they relate and they connect, and that helps them get through their journey with accountability and pushes them through the program to reach their desires and to create that reality together, not just alone. Because some women love the company of others.
Hmm. Yeah, it's almost like a networking opportunity as well, and anytime, teamwork makes the dream work, right? And when you can be with other women that are looking for similar things, or, like agree, even if it's grief related, it's helpful, I think, to know that other people are going through similar things. It's not the same. Nobody has the same walk in life, but there are similarities, there's commonalities that people can share. And just,
Absolutely.
yeah. And so, and even with career, I mean, looking at, somebody who wants to, whatever line of work that they're trying to get into or build their business, if you have a group of 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 women all trying to build a business, well, that's brainstorming. That's, that's networking. That's building a network of other business people that you can potentially utilize and share with and grow with over time. And so that's awesome. I mean, the versatility that you offer is really great.
Absolutely. And it's with that, I wanted to add that when they get together and they do network and they connect, they inspire each other, going back to exactly what you were saying. Other things that they create other things in their lives and that they thought they weren't capable of.
Mhm.
So when they start digging deeper, like the whys underneath the whys or the hows and the whens and then the what's, and then everything, just this fountain of things just start appearing and showing up for them. And they're so overwhelmed with joy that these breakthroughs begin to happen, that they start to see themselves as, hey, I'm capable, I'm worthy,
Mhm.
and I can do this.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to witness, and I'm so lucky and fortunate to be able to be there for them as their cheerleader to keep them going.
Yeah, that's a great title to have. I mean, who doesn't want a cheerleader rooting them on, right? I mean, you don't
Yeah,
want somebody that is going to be like, "Well, are you sure you should try that?" Always the negative Nellies, and we all have those friends, right? And
absolutely.
you love them, and it's like, but you don't necessarily go to those people when you want, encouragement for something. And not to, dismiss that. I mean, there is value in being cautious, but negativity is, in my opinion, not the same as cautious. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, absolutely. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right on that one for sure. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
Well, I,
Yeah.
I I think you're a great cheerleader to have, Nada.
Thanks. I'm always gonna be there for them, and I want to make sure that they are doing what they need to do for themselves.
Uh-huh.
I want them to do it for themselves, so that's why I just continue to push them through.
Well, this is kind of the cheerleader, kind of is a perfect segue into my next question for you,
Oh, perfect.
because during our conversation, you also mentioned that you're a mentor for the Arab American Women's Business Council. Woohoo! And
Yeah.
that is incredible. So tell my listeners a little bit about that and how they can get involved if they're looking for something like that.
Yeah, so I'm very, very fortunate to be part of this community. I mentor some college students, through their college years, because it becomes overwhelming and exhausting how to balance, work and life, right? And it's very, very rewarding to see them just flourish and blossom and bloom as they go through their years, and as they start to set the intention and the action steps that they want for themselves. So it's a beautiful thing to witness. And with that, women, it's for Arab women that that are, some of them are professionals, and you don't have to be. You can go on their website, there's many things that you could fill out, from events to any type of a committee member, be any type of membership to be in that council. And you can be part of anything. There's a ton of things that you can decide if you have a specific niche for yourself. So with that, the website, I think, is Arab American. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll have all these links. I'll have
Yeah,
all these
it's
links
I
available to
think
you.
it's Arab American Women Business Council.org.
Okay.
So with that, we tend to help a lot of Arab American women who are looking for employment, but there's much more to it. And if they go on the website, they can dig deeper and see what comes up for them that they're interested in.
Yeah. And then now I do want to ask though, is it only available to Arab American women or is it open to any nationality?
It's pretty open to all nationalities. So they can go ahead and join and send an email or send some questions if they have. But I'm just a member.
Okay.
There's a lot of other people that can help out with specific things, but it's open to all.
Okay. And that's not all you do. You also volunteer for a nonprofit. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that organization
Yes.
and
Oh,
what you do?
oh, this one's like the heart of my home, like we call
Oh,
it the heart of the home.
yeah,
Of Zaman International. CEO is Najah Bazi. She's the founder of that as well. I volunteer with so many incredible women in the community, and also she work her goal is to eliminate poverty for women and children
that's awesome.
and the cycle of poverty.
Hmm.
So being there, just volunteering and seeing these women work, there's the sewing, there's women that and they actually get paid for it.
That's
There's
awesome.
the bakery, and that's where we volunteer whenever they need the help, the stocking the pantry. I'm honored to do that. And getting to know these women as we, do all those things and getting to know their story is just overwhelming for me in the sense of just gratitude and appreciation.
Aw, yeah, you have a big heart, Nada.
Oh, thank you, Jean. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And it's just a reflection of who I'm doing this for, who pushed me to do this was my dad. So
Yeah. Well, not everybody can say they had a great relationship with their dad, much less the type of relationship you had with yours. And that's a blessing in itself. And like I said, I trust that he is watching down over you with, just a happiness in his heart and just rooting you on, being your cheerleader, right?
in spirit, for sure.
Yeah, and it's just I think it's really incredible all the things that you do. You have a family, you have young kids, you have your business, but yet you still find time to help your community. And I was in Dearborn for almost 8 years, and I built so many incredible relationships with the business owners, with the communities during the events, and I have nothing but wonderful things to say for my time there. And I still keep track. I still go there to eat because I mean, Dave and I actually went to Mint 29 for New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
Love Casey. He's a wonderful guy, the owner, and I know how good their food is. So, and I just actually did a recipe for roasted garlic because Dave and I got steaks and we got these little dishes with these garlic, and they were just like, we just spread them onto the
Oh,
steak. And it was like, oh my
so
God.
good.
So I finally found a recipe on how to make them. And so I just did that. And I did a YouTube video. It's going to be coming out. That's actually
Oh,
going to be out in
I
April.
gotta,
So,
yeah,
but
I gotta keep. Yeah, we love cooking a good steak.
oh yeah, right, right. And especially if somebody else makes it for you, it's even better. But
Oh, yes, yes. You just enjoy the meal and not the cleanup.
that's right. Oh my gosh. I feel like how do I run my dishwasher so much? But I do so much cooking, especially for my YouTube video now, my blog, but we're digressing. But no, but my point simply was, I love the Dearborn community and it was home for me for almost 8 years. And I was so glad to meet you at the Access seminar. And I think that people who are listening right now who may be dealing with some grief or a loss or looking for some team coaching. Because honestly, you're the first person that I've talked to that actually offers team coaching, which I think is super unique. And so somebody might be listening out there that is thinking you're just what they need and what they've been looking for. So tell my listeners, how do they connect with you, Nada?
Yeah, I'd love to. They can go to my Instagram page at AAC_HLC. My website is under construction at the moment. And they have all the information on my Instagram page. They could just DM me, even for a free session, they can DM me, free coaching
Okay.
if they want to. And that's how I know, they're listeners from the podcast. So
Okay.
they definitely get a free 45-minute um, complimentary coaching call,
Okay.
and you can go from there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
listeners, I will be sure, and Nada as well, I'll be sure to to put that specifically in the descriptions of obviously how to connect with you,
Yeah.
and as well to when they DM you to put that free coaching, and that'll be the code for you to know. So hopefully we get a lot of people out there looking and listening to this and connecting with you, Nada, because again, I really feel like you have a unique opportunity to offer people, and the tenderness in your heart and compassion is
Thank
so obvious. And I
You're
think
sweet.
everybody who works with you would be very, very blessed and benefit greatly. But Is there anything else you want to share about ACC? Oh, you didn't tell everybody, what does ACC stand for?
Oh,
Wait
that
there. Come on, Nada.
well, AAC stands for my dad. Those are my dad's initials. AAC are my dad's initials, and they also stands for Aspire, Achieve, Change.
All right, that's important. We got to
Yeah,
make sure people know that, because
yeah,
that's what your philosophy and your goal is to inspire that change. So, and
absolutely.
achieve it.
Yeah. And I also wanted to say, Jean, that, with my coaching, we talk about the here and now. That's what we focus on. And I just
Yeah.
want to tell the listeners that, because sometimes people compare it to therapy.
Mm,
And we talk about the past, yes, yeah, because that's where the conditioning or the programming started.
very
We
true.
we'll talk about that a little bit, but we're not going to stay there. We're going to go to the here and now.
Hmm.
So I want the listeners to know that we talk about the here and now and how we're going to progress and move forward. So we all have some trauma related experience. So
Hmm.
let's feel the feels, talk about it, and then set in stone and what we're going to do to move forward. The
Yep.
tools
Get
that
those goals.
yes, the tools that will I'll give you to move forward.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well,
Yeah. And some people like to sit in the here and sit in the past.
yeah.
That's detrimental. So we don't want to do that. So we want to keep moving.
And that's kind of what I talk about, with stepping stones and stumbling blocks, right? Don't let a situation be a stumbling block. No matter what it is, pick yourself up and use it as a stepping stone to grow and better yourself. And you definitely help people do exactly that. But
Yeah.
I just want to tell everybody, all my Dragonfly listeners out there, thank you for joining Nada and I today. And Nada, obviously, thank you so much for joining
Oh,
me today.
for having me. It's such a pleasure and honor, and I'm so flattered.
Oh, well, that goes both ways then, because I am so glad that you were here to share with my listeners what the opportunities that you offer them. But listeners, to see more about ACC or oh my gosh, AAC coaching,
Yeah.
you can obviously visit me at my blog for Dragonflies and Me, and you can contact Nada at info@aac-coaching.com. And again, no worries on any of those links if you didn't get them, friends. If you're driving and listening or whatever, these are all going to be in the podcast description, YouTube description, blog description, and social media, Facebook event. So you will be able to find all of Nada's contact information in those platforms. So
Yeah. Thank you.
thank you. And everybody, please follow me here at my blog, at my podcast, my YouTube, and of course, my social medias handles. We have a ton of great content at all the platforms, different things happening all the time. And I just want to thank you again. So, friends, as I always say, thanks for joining me today. And be sure to eat fresh, shop local, and have a happy day. Take care, friends.